What's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, and in today's video, man, I'm going to be discussing my week 2 NFL picks going into next week. And I'm doing this video on a Friday, so this will be my raw picks. So right now on my screen you can tell that I have week 1 scheduled up. It only says Sunday, but then I'm actually doing my actual picks from week 1. I already did them already, but I'm just going to recap and what my record was. My record from last week was 9-7. Obviously right now, as week 1, it is not showing the Ravens and Raiders. I picked the Raiders to win that game, but then everything else is pretty much shown on the showcase on the screen. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Bucks, and that didn't end up happening. So I ended up getting that's my loss right there. Then I had the Jaguars and Texans. I obviously picked the Jaguars. I thought the Jaguars were going to be a better team than what the Texans are, but after seeing from what happened last week, Trevor Lawrence, him being a rookie, that kind of really showed against the Texans. And Trevor Lawrence, he had like 3 interceptions, but he made it forward with like 3 touchdowns. But it don't matter because they still ended up losing the game. I think like 43-21 or something crazy like that. Yeah, the Texans went wild on the Jaguars. But like these are 2 bottom feeder teams that would, by April, they're gonna have like a top 5 draft pick. So it was a crapshoot. Plus it was a division game, and they were both trash. So I don't see either of these teams even being close in the playoff picture at all. So it doesn't matter with those. And another keynote: any single time that heading into the NFL season and an AFC team or an AFC team or any NFC team other than the NFC East is playing an NFC East opponent. So like right here with the Chargers and Washington, I'm always going to pick the opposite team. I do not want to see my other division rival win in any single time. So I'm always going to pick against them, unless of course they're playing if they're playing like a tanking team, then more than likely I'm going to pick them. But if they're playing a competent team, I'm always going to pick them no matter what happens. So I picked the Chargers against Washington. That was right. I picked the Seahawks over the Colts. Seahawks spanked the Colts. Panthers, obviously, they beat the Jets. I had the Vikings beating the Bengals. Similar situation to where I thought the Vikings had a better squad than what the Bengals had. They had Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Their resurgence of a line. They drafted Darryl Shaw. Then I believe I think they also had another offensive lineman that they drafted. So I thought the Vikings, they were going to be pretty solid up front, and they were going to be able to run the ball on Minnesota. And plus, I thought their defense was going to be better, adding, Patrick Peterson. You still have Harrison Smith, one of the better safeties in the league. You had Anthony Barr. You had Eric Kendricks. You had Danielle Hunter. They also had Dalvin Tomlinson. Like, they had Michael Pierce. They had a bunch of guys, and I really thought they were going to win that game. But it went into overtime, and they played close with the Bengals. And the Bengals, they're no slouch either. But, similar situation. I just thought the Vikings just had a better roster than what the Bengals did. Same thing going to the Titans. I thought the Titans, with Julio, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, I really thought they were going to win just off of, they had Ryan Tannehill. He excels off the play action. I thought they were going to be able to run against Arizona, but that wasn't the case on Sunday. Arizona just blew them boys out the water, and Chandler Jones went crazy with 5 sacks. It was a really good game. But yeah, I ended up picking the Titans mostly because of their offense. I knew their defense was going to be suspect, especially since it wasn't really that strong going into last year, and then their pass rush is really non-existent. And then with your secondary, you have a rookie in Caleb Farley. They have Janoris Jenkins, Jack Rabbit, who last year was really great for the Saints, number 2 corner. So and then the Titans itself, KB, Kevin Byard. So I thought the defense was going to come out there and get a couple stops against Arizona. But, Arizona ended up pulling it out, ended up winning. So, congrats to Arizona. The 49ers versus the Lions, this was a no-brainer for me. Even though I don't like the Niners like that, I thought the Niners were going to beat the Lions anyway. But who knows? It was a close game. So, it came out to being 41-33 was a final score. So, the Niners didn't end up closing. They It shouldn't have even gotten that close with the Niners and Lions. It should have been a blowout because the Niners, they were blowing out the Lions, and for the majority of the game until like the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and then that's when the Lions, he scored touchdown, got an onside kick. It bounced off of George Kittle's face. Lions recovered, scored. They went for 2. Then it was 41-33. Then the Lions got the ball back, but they couldn't score in enough time because, the Lions defense clutched up, and, they didn't have enough time. They had no timeout, so it wasn't like they couldn't really take any shots toward the middle of the field or anything like that. So the Niners ended up winning. Bills, Steelers. I thought the Bills were going to come out here and just completely demolish the Steelers, but the Steelers under Mike Tomlin, they're never really going to fold. So, except for last year in the wild card, but that's different though, because they had a bunch of injuries. But the Steelers, they're more than likely healthy. Then you got the Bills, healthy as well. Thought the Bills were going to win. I thought they were going to come with a vengeance this year, especially they're hyping up when Stephon Diggs came out there and he watched the celebration of the Chiefs and everything like that. They made it seem like the Bills were on this vengeance run. But I don't know. It's only week 1, so I'm about to give you guys my prediction for next week also as well. Eagles, Falcons. I thought the Falcons were going to win. I didn't know what Philly was going to look like this year. I don't really keep up with Philly because they are a division rival, so I don't really care what they do on their side. The only time I really care is if we're about to play each other. Then I want to know injury reports and things like that on like how the players shaped up last week prior to facing us, things like that. But I didn't really care. I thought the Falcons were going to win. The Falcons didn't. So it's whatever, man. The Falcons going to be the Falcons. And they were dumb for anyway taking Kyle Pitts when they could have just got them a quarterback of the future like Justin Fields, and they could have done way more things with Justin Fields at the quarterback because he could have learned under a year of Matt Ryan and things like that. So it don't matter. The Falcons, they're a tanking team. They're going to try and be competitive, but it's not going to work. They're going to be a top 5 draft pick like how they were last year. Chiefs, Browns. I'm not betting against Mahomes. I never will bet against Mahomes. Yeah, so that's pretty much why I picked the Chiefs. Packers, Saints. Aaron Rodgers. As a Cowboy fan, I know how it is to go against Aaron Rodgers. So I don't really like doubting against Aaron Rodgers either. But, I picked the Packers because I thought, better team than what the Saints did look on paper. It looked like the Saints didn't really have anything on them offensively except for the offensive line and Alvin Kamara. I understood that Jameis Winston was going to look way better because everybody thought he really didn't. And I knew he was because a lot of times these quarterbacks, like Patrick Mahomes, for example, he set out an entire year learning under Alex Smith, and then he came out the next year, popped off and won Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. To me, I'm still that advocate of having the rookie, even though that he got selected in the, whether he was a first pick or he was like a top 5 pick quarterback, like a Trey Lance. I like those type of things where the rookie quarterbacks, they sit for a year and they learn under like a proven vet. So that's why when they come into the game fully next year, they have full experience. They watch what the vet did and things like that. I'm still an advocate of that. I like the rookies sitting behind veterans, and the rookies, they're gonna learn a whole lot and just expand on their game and things like that. So yeah, I figured Jameis Winston was going to have a resurgence of his career, especially with Sean Payton, learning under Drew Brees and everything like that. So I'm not really shocked on his performance at all, but I'm surprised how poorly the Packers were. So, yeah, Broncos, Giants. Broncos, to me, you look at that team defensively, they got Pat Surtain, they got Kyle Fuller, Bryce Callahan, Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, Alexander Johnson, Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. Then you got Jerry Jeudy, Colton Sutton, Noah Fant, etc. So many offensive weapons. I just didn't think the Giants were going to keep up. And the Giants, under offensive coordinator of Jason Garrett, yeah, we know how that goes down in Dallas and how basic his offense is. Now we're knowing, I'm recording this on Friday, so we already know people are making fun of the Giants' offense and things like that. So we already know how trash it was with Jason Garrett with Dallas. So what do you think a lesser amount of talent they have in New York? What do you think Jason Garrett's going to do? So I knew the Broncos were going to win. Dolphins versus Patriots. I knew the Dolphins were going to win. I didn't believe, like, Mac Jones, he's solid, but I don't believe that he's going to come in his rookie year and just dominate. So I believe they should have kept Cam. Mac Jones could have, learned a little bit more under him, things like that. So I picked the Dolphins to win. Rams, I picked to win. They're one of the most complete teams in the NFL. I still believe that Matt Stafford's overrated, but to me, the Browns are my bad, not the Browns, but the Bears. Their offense is so simple, it's so vanilla. Like, they don't do anything. They try to do trick plays, but I think that's what they really are. They're just a trick play type of offense. Their offensive line is trash. Their receivers are alright. Their tight ends are tight end by committee. Their running back is good with David Montgomery, but that's who they really have at running back. Andy Dalton, we already know how Andy Dalton is, and he had way better offensive talent than what he did last year. The only thing that he didn't have last year was just a healthy offensive line, but Dallas got way better weapons than what the Bears did, and Andy Dalton was struggling. So imagine, he's coming into a situation where the Bears, their wide receivers are less, tight ends are about the same, because Cowboys and Bears, they both have the same tight end by committee. We have a better running back than what they do. We have a better running back, tandem or committee than what they do, what the Bears did. So I just didn't think the Bears were going to be able to put up enough points, especially with Andy Dalton and the Bears. With the Bears and going up against the Rams defense with Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Darius Williams, and all them other cats, man. So that's why I ended up picking the Rams. So for my week 2 picks, obviously I'm recording this on Friday again, and the game is going to be on Sunday, and then they're including, I believe, Monday's pick. Monday night's game. So okay, so for my lock of the week, basically my lock of the week, for anyone who may not know, is basically like your guaranteed win. And my guaranteed win is going to be the Bucks versus the Falcons. I'm pretty sure that's going to be everybody's lock. Philly and San Fran. I'm going to San Fran. I don't believe in Justin Fields. Not Justin Fields. I believe in Justin Fields, but not just Jalen Hurts is what I mean to say. Jalen Hurts, I don't really believe in him. It's only week 1 at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't believe it. And even if he is, it's only week 1 of the NFL season, and he played up against a tanking team in the Atlanta Falcons, so I'm not going to really put too much stock into that. The Niners, they still mostly have everybody up front defensively. Their secondary is weak, so I feel like maybe if only way Philly wins this game, to me, honestly, is if they hold up for Jalen Hurts and they're able to attack their secondary, because to me, the Niners secondary has regressed a lot, and they just lost Jason Verrett, which sucks for the Niners. They lost him for a year. It's going to shape up well, because in Shanahan, running backs come a dime a dozen, man. Like, they do a running back by committee. Him and Sean McVay have the same sort of offense, where it doesn't matter who you are at running back. They have a great scheme to fit running backs and scheme them open, and have great zone blocking to where the running backs, they have wide open gaps for them to run and things like that. So the Niners are going to be able to have a running game regardless of who their running backs are. Their offensive line is solid and things like that. So I believe the Niners are going to win. They have a better overall team than what the Eagles do, and I just don't think the Eagles are going to come out here and do it against a better team. They're playing a better team, way better team than what the Falcons were. So I didn't circle my Raiders and Steelers game, because that was the game I kind of stumped on, because the Raiders, they came out there to beat a playoff team in the Ravens, but I feel like with both teams, Ravens and Steelers, they're both one-dimensional type of teams. The Steelers, again, they cannot run the ball. Their offensive line is not really great against in run blocking situations, and I don't believe the Cowboys are one of those teams where you think you draft your generational type back is going to fix your offensive line issues and is going to fix your running game problems, and that's what the Steelers are having that problem with. Now, I'm not downgrading Najee at all. I'm just saying that fix your offensive line first, where you're able to run the ball with any back instead of trying to go out there and depend on a rookie with your trash offensive line. So basically with the Raiders, the Ravens, they really struggle throwing the ball, and it's not Lamar's fault. They just don't surround him enough with good enough weapons. Mark Andrews is fine, but you can easily bracket coverage and lock up a tight end and isolate him out the game. But receivers, man, Sammy Watkins, he's all right, but look who he played around with. That's the reason why he had that so-called success. He played around with 10 and 87 and 17. You know, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, you know, Tyreek Hill. So they're gonna defenses. They're gonna mainly look for to lock up Travis and Tyreek. So since you have to do that, you know, Sammy Watkins was always getting favorable coverages. So I just believe that the Ravens they'll eventually bounce back once they get Rashawn Bateman and Miles Boykin back. But basically what I have to say is I believe the Raiders, they're going to beat the Steelers. I believe that the only thing the Raiders have to do is just don't let no big plays, don't let the big play happen to them. That's all. Just lock up Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. You ain't got to worry about nobody else, really. The Raiders are going to be fine. I think the Raiders are going to win. Bills versus Dolphins. Not really much to say. I just believe the Bills better team, and they're a little bit mad about what happened last week, so they'll come out and beat up on the Dolphins. Rams versus Colts. Rams are going to win. Colts are limited offensively, especially with Big Q not being in there, and their offensive line really doesn't look that well. So, you know, they lost Anthony Costanzo in retirement. Big Q is gone. So their defense, you know, their offensive line really isn't great. And then, you know, their wide receivers aren't really great either. You know, they don't have T.Y. Hilton. They still have, they have Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell, but I don't believe they're like number ones or even number twos yet in the NFL. They still have a lot to prove. So I got the Rams winning. You know, Jalen Ramsey, he's going to easily lock up any wide receiver they have on the Colts, even if they had T.Y. Hilton. So I got the Rams. I don't really have to go much into this game. The Packers they just lost. They lost Darius Smith to IR with a neck or a back issue. So that's gonna be trouble for their pass rush. But I still believe that the Packers are going to beat the Lions. The Lions are going to be a bottom feeder team again. Broncos over the Jags. Not really much analysis into there. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence going up against a veteran / really great young talent on defense. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be ready for that. And the offensive line isn't that well, and you're going up against Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. It's going to be a scary nightmare. It's going to be a tough day, really, really tough day for Trevor Lawrence. So I believe I got the Broncos winning. Seattle over Titans. If you're gonna let teams air you out like that, like what Tennessee did with Arizona, Seattle's going to do the same exact thing. They have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. They got Will Disley, Gerald Everett. They got goons on that team, man. So the only thing Seattle has to worry about is just stopping the run. I think they can do that with Bobby Wagner, Brooks, their linebacker. They're their second-year linebacker. I think his name is Jordan Brooks, something like that. The linebacker, him, and then you got, of course, you can bring Jamal Adams down the box, stop the run. Just pack up the box. You don't really want to pack up the box because you don't want to leave Julio Jones, and you don't want to leave A.J. Brown one-on-one coverage. So, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I still have Seattle winning. I have Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals beating up on the Vikings. The Vikings have a bunch of injuries. On their injury report, I'm not really too sure, but they have injuries towards the secondary and on their pass rush, and Anthony Barr's hurt again. I don't know how, but I think Eric Kendricks might be hurt, but I was hearing something that Anthony Barr is going to be out, and I believe Michael Pierce, one of their D tackles, are going to be out. So I believe Arizona is going to start out the year 2-0. I think they're going to end up beating the Minnesota Vikings. I got the Cowboys over the Chargers. I'm not really going to give you guys an analysis because I'm saving that for tomorrow. So I got the Cowboys over the Chargers. I'm going to give you guys my in-depth analysis on how we're going to win and things like that tomorrow. Browns versus the Texans. The Texans, they play a trash team than the Jaguars, and the Browns are like a million times better team than what the Jaguars are. And the Browns are able to run the ball and throw the ball. So, they're able to throw the ball only off of play action. So, and the Texans, to me, this is going to be the real test. So, the Texans, they haven't played a real team yet. So, I got the Browns winning. I got the Pats over the Jets. Yeah, the Jets, they look pretty solid against the Panthers. But I just think that Bill Belichick versus a rookie quarterback. I think Bill Belichick is going to look at him as a snack man, and he's going to end up just wreaking havoc, and it's going to be a very, very long day for Zach Wilson. So I just got the Patriots winning. I got the Saints versus the Panthers. The Saints, same thing with the Panthers. They're playing a better team than what the Jets are. So, the Saints are coming out there off of a high, beating the Packers. Marshawn Lattimore just got paid, so he's going to be motivated. You still got Cameron Jordan. You still got a bunch of dudes on that team, Marcus Williams and things like that. So I got the Saints winning that game. Washington, New York, I didn't care who won, so I guess you guys can probably count that as an L. I don't know, but you can leave that in the comment section on what you guys think whatever my quote-unquote consequence should be, because I don't really know. I didn't really care who won that game. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have a dog in the fight, so it doesn't matter to me. Bengals, Bears. The Bears, again, like I just mentioned, they're archaic on offense. They're not really good. They're vanilla. They don't have nothing much to offer. I think the Bengals are going to go out there. They're going to beat them. Their defense is all right. It's not really what it used to be 3 years ago with the Bears. So I think the Bengals are going to have enough. They're going to have a nice day. Last week to pick, I have the Chiefs over the Ravens. There's Patrick Mahomes. Again, I'm not going to bet over Patrick Mahomes. And then plus all the times that the Chiefs match up with the Ravens ever since, I believe 2019, the Chiefs has always been winning, because just for the simple fact that Baltimore can't really move the ball like that. Yeah, they'll be able to run the ball on KC, but they're not going to be able to air out KC, and that's one thing you have to do. You have to do more than one thing against Spagnuolo's defense, for Kansas City, for them to succeed. If you want to beat Kansas City, you got to be potent on the running game and through the passing game. And I believe that the Ravens, they're able just to run the ball, but they were able to pass the ball pretty well against the Raiders. It's just I just believe, you got Juan Thornhill, Tyrann Mathieu, L'Jarius Sneed, and then you got Bashaud Breeland, I believe, was on that team. So, and then you got Mike Hughes, who sealed up the game from last week. So, the Chiefs, man, they have a really solid secondary. And then, the Raiders, the Chiefs are a better team than what the Raiders are. But I just think the Chiefs are going to air them out. They got Tyreek Hill, Mahomes. The Chiefs' offensive line is way much better than what the Raiders have. So it's gonna be a good game, but I just know that the Chiefs are going to win. The Ravens are hurt in the running back game. Their actual running backs, they're all injured. I don't do that meme stuff for Lamar's running back. No, he's a quarterback, so. They're hurt on the right running backs. Wide receivers are hurt there too. Mark Andrews needs to step up big for me for fantasy. But anyway, I just got the Chiefs winning it, man. To me, they're one of the most potent teams out there, and I believe that you can never really put away the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are, obviously, if they're healthy, they're a team that you do not want to see, and they're a team that they're really hard to beat when healthy. So. Thank you guys for tuning in for my Week 2 NFL picks. I appreciate you guys showing all the support on the videos and things like that. I hope you guys have a nice day. I will definitely have a video posted up tomorrow going over my analysis on how the Cowboys could beat the LA Chargers. And then Sunday, obviously, I'm going to have my post-game reaction on the game. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys have a nice day.